So, here's the thing. K&N filters. We've all thought about them, pod filters. This is the one that's just come off my turbo. Alright. Now, I've already gone through one stage of this cleaning process and tutorial, because why not? And didn't really see the complete before, but it's still pretty dirty. Yeah. It's supposed to be a nice crimson red, bit of burning there because it was rubbing. This guy installed it. It's probably not the cleverest in the world. Cool. Step 1, what you need to do. Go to Super Cheap Auto because Repco can't get them anymore because there's none in the country and their supplier can't find them. Super Cheap Auto currently has some. Buy one of these goodies. Yeah. It'll include these two things. So what you want to do is you want to take this and coat the absolute shit out of this filter. When I say coat the absolute shit out of it, I mean I've probably used half of it in the first stage, so this thing's already relatively clean. Your next step, in about 10 minutes time, you want to take it to a soft hose or watering device, low pressure. That's as much as you need. As much as you need. That stage, you're going to rinse the internals of this. Like I said, I've already done it one time. I'm going to do it again shortly, and I'll show you how. So, step 1, power cleaner. Filter. Coat the living shit out of it, he says. Don't you love the sounds that squeaky bottles make when you put them on weird angles? Rotate. La da da. So, remember how I said I've already done this once? Well, I have. So, probably the water, once we go to rinse it off, will probably be relatively clean. But it's not that, it's the little dirt particles. So that's just stuff that came out sort of while shaking it just before. So this is nice and wet, relatively liberal. As I said, I've already done it once, so I don't want to use too much of it because this kit was $32 from Super Cheap. Now, following that, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to focus, but some of these little pleats, they're called, I believe. If I have a look here, actually it's looking not too bad at the moment. If we can get the sun, little bits of dirt get trapped in there, as you can see. Little bits of little fibers, like that, like in the corner. I don't know if you can really see that there. Focus. That's the shit I want to get rid of because I'm a fussy bastard. So I'm going to take a toothbrush and I'm going to scrub them. So I can't really do this and hold the phone at the same time. So I'll be back in 5 minutes after I've let that soak in just a little bit and given it a good scrub, and we'll continue from there. So it's been 5 minutes and we're back. So one thing I didn't say is you absolutely cannot let this crap dry on your filter. I'm not sure what the pH balance of it is, what it's actually going to do to it, but everything you read and everything you see says do not let it dry on your filter. And as you can see, she's still pretty wet. So remember how I said low pressure wash? Alright, just going to turn the hose on here just a little bit. Can't really do it too well. And you're just going to rinse from the clean side, which is the inside of the filter, out. As you can see, water's pretty clean because I've already done it once, but we are getting little dirt particles still, which is exactly what we don't want in our filter. So, yeah. We'll just keep doing that. After I've given this a rinse and the water's nice and clean, and it will be filthy the first time you do it, we will move on to step 3. Dirt particles and shit still flying out. That's what we want. Step 3 coming in a second. And we're back. Alright, so the thing's been completely rinsed, and as you can see, we're starting to get slightly lighter in colour, which is good. And in fact, I'm probably never going to get this to being perfect colour ever again, because, let's face it, I have no idea how fucking old this is. But it's got a nicer grey colour, starting to get towards the white that it should be with natural cotton, as they are cotton filters after all. So, what you want to do is you want to give it a shake. Get as much of the hard water off it as you can. Then you're just going to let it dry for a few hours. Okay, so you've got to let it dry. It has to be completely dry before you can install or complete the oiling process, as you know, water and oil don't really mix. You do not want to put this next to a heat source, or however, I'm not really sure why, but that's the case. So I'm going to give it a good shake, get as much of the hard water off as I can, probably take a while. Following that, it'll be on to the oil stage. Alright, be back then. Okay, so we've been drying for about 5 minutes, and as you can see, if you can see, still some little dirt particles inside that the toothbrush couldn't quite get. So what you want to do is, if I can, you go away. Yep, just break everything because you're clever like that, Carl. Well done. No light. Find something light. I really need to install some more lights in my bathroom, given I'm relatively electronically gifted. It should be okay. So you can hear that nice sort of rattling sound. That's what you want. So you're running against sort of the metal gate. But there are some in here that you'll never fully get out. So what we can do is take a toothpick, give it gently, because you don't want to perforate the cotton, you just want to scrape the extra shit out. Toothpick gets a little dirty. So, yeah, gonna probably take another hour to clean, and you'll never get it all out, you never will, unless you buy a brand new filter, but yeah, leave it another hour to dry and we should be right. Okay, so, it's the next day. Yeah, hello buddy. And the pod filter's dry. I stuck it in the hot water cupboard overnight, just because, you know, give it a little bit of extra. She's looking pretty clean. Hey buddy, how's it going? So the next step is oiling. What we want to do is we want to put it in this little container. Something that's just going to stop us from overspray. We're going to get our oil. Give it a good shake. Be back after I've given it a good shake. Okay, giving it a good shake. As you can see, I popped top off. What you want to do is you want to give it a little test spray. See how it's come out nice and red. So what we need to do is now evenly coat the pod filter along the outside pleats. Starts to get a bit red. Don't need to be too excessive with it right off the bat, because it's going to wick the oil to the internal parts. As you can see, I've missed a spot. Rotate the filter. Hope everyone's day's going well. So, what we're then going to do is rotate it around the other way. See how we've lost most of that nice red hue? I suppose that's probably because of the sun difference, but we're going to spray from the other side now. Just so we can get into all the pleats. Turn it this way. Come around here. picked up our first set of debris. Get you off there. See, we're starting to get a nice red K&N filter look. That's what we're after. I've probably excessively oiled this, but I'm not in the habit of doing things without excess. It's starting to look pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stand it up. Yes, there's extra oil, but we can fix that. See, a little touch up, giving us a nice red hue. Let that wick for a while, come back a little bit later and touch up all the spots that we need. Sweet. So if we pull this into the light, what we can see here is we can see little bits of red starting to poke through, but you can also see bits of white. Now, this is starting to do what's called a wicking process, so the cloth's picking up all the oils. As you can see, it's nice and red there, but it hasn't quite made it around this far yet. In a while, after about 20 minutes or so, we will touch it up. Starting to get a nice red crimson appearance on the outside, just like you'd expect from a K&N filter. I will be replacing this filter eventually. At the moment, I just don't see much of a point. When I go to new intercooler piping and intake piping, I will be replacing it. Sweet. So, it's been about 5 minutes, and as you can see, we have a gorgeous red colour. Now, still a little bit of white in there, but it's only been about 5 minutes, so it could also just be the lighting. It does look pretty uniform red inside in terms of the pleats. Before installation, just make sure you wipe off any excess oil around sort of the hose clamps, if you focus, and around the top. Last thing we want is too much oil getting into the intake. A little bit is okay, but once again, we don't want a lot. So that concludes my tutorial on how to clean a K&N pod filter, and I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you next time. It's just a little bit tidier on the car now. Also gave the rocker cover just a bit of a paint, so now that looks a little bit tidier. Just got the AC belt to go on now and we'll be done. Choice.